Hello, podcast world, fellow horticulturists, lovers of plants, gardeners, family, and friends. Welcome to Shrubby Buddies, the podcast, friends with woodies for garden goodies. I'm host Matt Guthrie.
And I'm host Tim Fleischer. Coming at you from Central Ohio, Zone 6B. We're just a couple of public horticulturists and certified arborists with experience in education, landscape design, gardening, retail, and wholesale.
So grab a drink, polish your pruners, dust off that kneeling pad, and let's get down to business. Hey, Shrubby Buddies, and welcome to the podcast. I am Matthew C. the First with Timmy Tugboat Fleischer. Tim, how are you?
Good, Matt. I'm fantastic. We're outside today, aren't we?
Yeah, we are outside. We're at Inniswood Metro Gardens, and we are joined with the one and only Megan, the Stallion Fleischer. Megan, how are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
We're doing good. We're doing good.
You guys think you can manage this?
I think we can manage it, yeah.
Everywhere else that we talk today is going to be in the shade after this, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Every bed will be perfectly positioned under the largest shade tree in the gardens.
Beautiful.
Perfect.
That's what we like to hear, especially on a hot day. Like, it's funny, too, because you're the one, Tim, that's always complaining about the heat.
Yeah.
And then you were like, I have a great idea. Let's do an outside podcast today.
Yeah.
So,
well,
I don't know.
I didn't know it was going to be so hot, but I'm okay.
Yeah, no, I think this is wonderful.
It's breezy, and that's what I'm sweating for. The sweat keeps me cool.
Yeah. So, Megan, we are here with you today at Inniswood, and
You guys got me.
we finally got you after, a year and a half of trying to get you on this show. We bamboozled you into it.
It's like she didn't really have a choice. I was just like, let's do this. And she didn't argue.
Yeah, well, that's great. And we've got Addie with us, and we've got Whitney with us.
It's a family affair.
So, yeah.
Can you say hi, Whitney? Go say
Okay.
hi.
So, Addie, do you want to say hi?
Hi.
All right. And Addie says she's fire. So, okay, Megan, we're going to go over your flower displays here at Inniswood today, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Tim, you want to give a rundown? You know better than I, seeing as how you're married to the horticulturist here, how Inniswood does you called it themes and things, so...
Yeah. So, first of all, Megan, can you tell us a little bit about the park, Inniswood here, and
Oh, yeah, sorry.
and then we'll we'll start to really dig deep into these beautiful displays.
Yes. I'd be happy to tell you guys about Inniswood Metro Gardens. So we are the botanical arm of the Columbus and Franklin County Metro Park system. We are one of about 20 parks within the district. We are free and open to the public 365 days a year. We are taxpayer funded by the Franklin County residents. And we are so fortunate to live in the suburb of Westerville, from which many of our volunteer supporters who help keep the gardens looking as lovely as they do right now, keeping them looking nice. So.
Well, it looks beautiful.
Thanks.
Every time I'm
That's
here, it looks beautiful. You and your team
Great team.
do a wonderful job here at the gardens.
It does. You know, have you ever thought, Megan, if PPA ever comes back to Columbus, like their national symposium, that Inniswood would likely be on the tour, and you'd have to give perhaps some tours to some big wigs?
I think 100%.
Are you just trying to get me nervous?
No,
Or-
it's exciting to me.
I was introduced to the Public Gardens Association and their annual conference in 2007, I believe, when they were in Columbus. My mentor at Ohio State paid my way to attend PPA, and there was a tour and a dinner at Inniswood that year. Oh. So that was actually the one and only time that I had visited Inniswood. And I remember visiting one of the big gardens here, the Sisters Garden, and just being like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And lo and behold, 20 years later, here I am.
This is some full circle stuff.
Yeah, full circle.
Well, hopefully,
yeah.
fingers crossed, when it does make its way back to Columbus. This is a stop on the tour, and you're able to give everyone a wonderful tour of the gardens.
Well, what's the big buzzword lately? You picture it, so you picture it into...
what is that?
You pretend everyone doesn't.
No, where you
answer.
like manifest.
Manifest.
Yeah.
Yes, we'll
Yes.
start manifesting PPA garden tours
You
to
think it
Dublin.
into
and-
existence.
yeah. So
Okay.
here we go. Started here in 2025.
Okay.
Love it.
Wonderful. So, as I understand it, Megan, each growing season, you pick a theme for your seasonal display beds. Tell us a little bit about that process and about the theme this season.
Yeah. So we have an annual theme for our seasonal display beds. That has been a long-standing tradition since 1999, when my former boss and horticulturist Char Steelman developed her annual plantings that consisted of many tropicals. And her boss at the time said, "Oh, so we're going tropical this year," and that kind of launched this like more focused theme every year for the beds to be designed around. And what that really helps us do is kind of dream up unique plant palettes and utilize annuals in different ways and in some non-traditional ways. So, yeah.
So what's the theme this year?
This year's theme is Fairytales and Fables. I'm always encouraging staff, volunteers, the public to submit ideas to me. The theme is usually determined in January and February. So leading up into January, February, I'm really like paging through catalogs, looking on like horticultural publications for buzzwords and buzz terms. And this year,
Whitney wants
this is-
apple juice,
yeah,
bub.
can you-
I'm sorry.
No, you don't have to apologize. It's all good.
Sorry. Trying to maintain my train of thought here. So anyway, a lovely staff person and a volunteer had both at separate times suggested a fairy tales theme. And to expand that just a little bit, I added the Fables portion to it. So each of our display beds, there are 8 seasonal display beds, 8 annual beds that have a different story in which helped to dictate the plant material being used and the design. And then we have over 80 containers throughout the gardens that our volunteers help to design and maintain throughout the growing season. So the one that we're standing in right now, we call this our circle beds, which is 4 quadrants kind of encircling the main entrance to Inniswood. And this is Peter Rabbit. So it's a vegetable garden.
Yeah, it's really cool. So this is like as soon as you walk into Inniswood here at the very front of the entrance, it's 4 gardens that kind of are situated nicely around this big kind of paver patio with different paths leading off of it. And it's these super cool vegetable gardens. So you've got vegetables in here, but then there's also a mix of some annuals, and it looks like some annual Rebecca and marigolds and things. But like, what are some of the vegetables that you used in here? Like, I see.
The focus, I didn't choose the plant palette with the focus of having a high yield of vegetables to harvest from it. It was very heavy on, what looks pretty?
Yeah.
What's going to be very eye-catching, but still have that underlining theme of being a vegetable and or herb in some cases. So the central, these are planted in kind of a triangular form. The sides of the beds with the marigolds, I use these border plants as your traditional like rabbit deterrent plants. There's 4 different types of marigolds planted in each of the displays. And then there is lavender, which I also read was a deterrent. And then within the middle of the bed, that's where the vegetables come into play. And again, emphasis on very ornamental cultivars of plants. So we've got red boar kale, which of course is edible, but is much prettier to look at, I think, than Well,
Yeah. Oh,
kale.
this is beautiful. Yeah. I mean, just the dark purple stems on it, and then the kind of greeny purple foliage on it.
Yeah.
And the texture that it adds is special too.
I really like the kale with Rudbeckia there. It reminds me of some of the fall containers I've done in the past.
Yes.
And then I really love, even though there's not a lot of it, the bull's blood beets,
Yes.
just because I love beets and that foliage is so rich in color.
Well, within that plant selection process, I was really trying to focus on plant material that would also highly contrast next to each other. So like ornamental peppers, those have just been super eye-catching to visitors. First, with the question of what are those? Second, can you eat them? And then, yes, you can,
Yeah,
but
sure.
they're not going to be something you really enjoy eating, like
Correct.
your traditional bell pepper.
Yeah.
And then, Tim, you mentioned the bull's blood beets, which we have a little pocket of them in the front of this border. What I've been very fortunate to not have to deal with, given that this is inspired by Mr. McGregor's garden and Peter Rabbit, we haven't had issues with bunnies.
Interesting.
We have had issues with deer, of course. So.
Oh, you have had deer issues?
Yes. So
Okay.
the bull's blood beets were heavily grazed in this quadrant over here, where there is a whole swath of beets. And then they've really loved the okra as well.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay, that's what that is.
yeah, so
When you said okra, as soon as you said the word
Yeah.
okra, I saw the okra pods.
Yes.
It almost resembles castor beans
Yeah,
in the way
so-
they grow. And I
Yes.
was like, what's she doing growing castor
Yeah.
beans?
When
in
I
this
first
vegetable
walked up,
garden?
I thought that's what it was
Yeah,
castor beans.
yeah.
But that is so cool. Such a neat plant.
Yes.
Really adds like nice height to the
Yes.
garden. Now, I got a quick question, Megan, while we're standing here before
Yes.
we move on.
Yeah.
Over here on this trellis, what's
Yes.
that vining plant over there?
That's a climbing spinach.
That's a climbing spinach.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's beautiful.
It is really like that red stem.
The red stem
with
and
the
that.
green glossy leaf.
Yeah,
yes.
really glossy. It just really stands out nice.
So I've had deer. Again, it's so funny how deer they're kind of lazy in their route and how they move. Have had deer really hit one of my trellises significantly with browse, and then another trellis that they haven't touched. So I'm thankful for that.
Yeah.
And then we do have some tomatoes that are kind of tucked into the middle of each of these quadrants. And that was this is a one plant that we are regularly harvesting fruit off of the tomatoes and donating it to the local food pantry.
Oh, very cool. So you're donating all of this to the local food pantry?
What we're harvesting, which
Yeah.
is just tomatoes. Everything else, I'm hoping from a longevity standpoint, it'll continue its ornamental show without having to do any major harvesting on them.
Yeah.
So yes, it's a very much of an emphasis on ornamental.
Do you ever pop a tomato in your mouth?
We have so many at home that it's not really like.
I mean, don't those just look delicious though?
I have to practice what I preach, which
Yeah.
is, this is purely visual. We don't want visitors eating anything from the plants, and
Yeah.
so I follow suit. Plus, all of these plants in here are so heavily sprayed with deer repellent that they're going to have probably like a little bit of a spearmint or cinnamon flavoring
Flavor
to
to
them.
them? Yeah. Or like a coyote urine or something like that.
We do. Yes, that's all the salad dressing I don't care to have on my tomatoes.
Yeah. All right, Megan, thanks for the tour of this. I think it's really cool that you guys do that for the food pantry. We kind of do the same thing at Dublin with our giving garden. All of the vegetables and things that are harvested out of that get donated to the Dublin food pantry. So
yeah, it's a good end result. I was not really thinking about, what if we need to harvest anything? What are we going to do with it?
yeah.
But that's where lovely volunteers scooped in, and they helped to distribute the tomatoes to our local food pantry for us. So that
Very
helps
good.
a lot.
Nice little border of Cali Carpa over here.
Yes, and
And that's getting ready to really look good.
Coreopsis.
Oh,
Which is a
yes.
plant I've always wanted to use because it's in my favorite plant family, Hemimelidaceae.
Okay, yeah.
Say that 5 times
No, thank you.
straight.
Busy park today.
Busy park
Lots
today.
of people getting photos.
It is. So we're on our way to the next display that fits into the fairy tale theme. Am I right?
Yes.
And what's
Megan's
this?
beautiful rose garden to our right. Her favorite spot here. The
Very
rose garden.
beloved.
Yes, the rose garden. That's another episode, another day.
Another.
Nah.
So what display are we heading to next, Megan?
So now we're approaching what we have termed the oval bed, which
Okay.
is just a large oval garden with a wavy, meandering wood chip pathway through the center of it.
Okay.
And the theme of this garden is Wizard of Oz.
I love that.
You were the big inspiration behind.
I was.
Yeah.
Oh, my heart is touched.
Well,
Nah, none of this sappy
I mean,
stuff, guys.
when you think of a large wavy trail, there aren't many fairy tales, at least in my brain, that came to mind besides the Wizard of Oz and the Yellow Brick Road. So that was an easy choice for this large bed.
I see that, but I've got to ask, when I think of Wizard of Oz, I think of 2 main plants. I think of apple trees throwing apples, and I think of poppies.
Okay. Well,
I'm going too literal, aren't I?
Well, you're going to be disappointed.
Okay.
So, thanks.
Well, regardless of that, I mean, it's beautiful, Megan. Like, especially the coleus over here, like this whole red bordered side is just beautiful.
Yeah, so, this is one of the beds, like the Peter Rabbit, Mr. McGregor's garden. There is very literal nods to the Wizard of Oz as you wander down this meandering path. There's symbolism in most of the plants that I chose in relation to the Wizard of Oz. So we've got Juncus effusus twister.
Yeah.
Okay.
For the, beginning of the story and the tornado.
Yeah. Okay. Love it.
So, and the blue, which Tweedia, this really light blue annual here, is one of my favorites. If you guys haven't used Tweedia, it propagates very easily from seed.
Is it like,
What's this remind you of?
it's milkweed?
Yeah, so I think it's in the same family. It's
Yeah.
not an Asclepias. It's not hardy here, but it's such a cool, almost like waxy flower.
Now, what is this?
That's Nigella.
Yeah, Nigella.
Yes.
So we have Nigella in Dublin planted in a bed, and I can't get rid of it. It just
It
just keeps coming back like crazy.
It's a happy reseeder.
Yeah.
But both of those flowers are a nod to Dorothy's gingham dress at the beginning.
Okay.
Wow.
And then we transition as we're walking down the pathway. We've got some Carex Bronco symbolizing Toto. And then on this side of the bed, there's some really dark undertones. A lot of coleus. First Night Pennisedum, which is a phenomenal.
Look at that.
Yeah,
Why are we not
that's
using
on
that?
my list for my big bowls.
This is pretty difficult to find. I got this at Brian's Botanicals, an online source, a tropical grower, and
Does it have a lot of vigor? Like, when you got it, was it a big plant or just a little plug,
a little
huh?
plug.
Okay, cool.
That I got. I think it was probably around March. Pretty slow to really do much of anything, but over the last several months, as annuals do, they have like June and July where they really start to take off.
Yep.
This section is very Wicked Witchy.
Wicked Witch.
So-
which this is Coleus Wicked Witch.
Yeah, I was just
Here.
getting ready to say I love it.
Yeah.
Now Tim doesn't like that one because it's not a solid colored coleus. It's fringed with some of that chartreusey color, but I do love that coleus. And it does super well next to the Gomphrena there, I think.
Yes, that's my.
And the
Is that Celosia?
no, it's
This is Amaranth.
Oh,
Amaranth.
yeah, Amaranth.
Yep.
Yeah.
And this is the Gomphrena is my lollipop guild.
Okay, yeah. I love it.
Yeah. And then over here, it's a annual planting in somewhat of a rainbow. It's not quite in terms of height how I'd want it to be depicted, but you're walking over the rainbow as you head down the garden, and then you start to get bordered yellow portulaca, which, because of it being shady right now, it's closed up and not quite as vibrantly yellow as it is when those flowers are are popped open.
Yeah.
Somewhere over the rainbow.
Now,
You, Tim?
Tim, if you would have observed this garden, let's say a month ago, I did have poppies, symbolizing the...
Okay.
What's your favorite? You say it all the time.
Poppies. Poppies will make them sleep. I do have to say that the Nigella seed pods are very reminiscent of a poppy seed head.
Yes.
So,
okay.
So I'm doing that.
Well, I have poppy mallow here.
Yeah.
That has been my fallback after the poppy. What am I thinking of? The Oriental poppies.
Which poppy did you have in here, Megan?
It's not important, but it's not here anymore. And
Let's just say that we had a little bit of what's that show where they grow the poppies and make the drugs?
Oh, Walter White?
Narcos?
No, not Narcos. No, the one where they're in the Ozark.
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 Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Megan was doing some Ozark stuff.
That's okay.
Unintentionally, and it was just 5 plants.
I'm sure it
So,
looked beautiful, though.
Anyway, now we're approaching the pink, very girly Glinda, the Good Witch inspiration here. So, raspberry, I think it's raspberry twist zinnia, just a really nice variegated pink small zinnia. And then there's Dahlia Wizard of Oz right here, which it was better earlier. And then the Emerald City is on this end with some tall birds of paradise, really emphasis on green and different height plant material, some gold leopard canna, wizard jade coleus.
I do. As we walked through there, it really morphed from like Wicked Witch all the way down to the Emerald City. So I love this. This is fantastic. This is the first time you've taken me through this year and given me the full tour. So thank you, Megan. That was
beautiful.
Just wonderful.
Beautiful.
Well, kudos to Tim. The evening I was laying out this display, I called him a number of times, and I was like, okay, when does remind me when the Lollipop Guild comes into play?
Oh, yeah, you were asking me, like, timelines.
Yeah, timelines,
Gotcha.
because anyway, it's, again, the emphasis of the theme is really what I find the best attribute of the theme is that it has me thinking about plant combinations that I otherwise wouldn't ever think to put together.
Exactly. It kind of takes your mind out of the box a little bit, which is a lot of fun. And I know Tim this year kind of followed suit with you, and he did a theme for the planters in Old Dublin, which was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And that kind of made him think outside of the box a little bit, I would say, right, Bub?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. And I'm very happy with how they turned out.
Yeah.
I've been getting a lot of great feedback about them.
Yeah, they look great.
I don't, we do talk about the theme a lot. We have a lot of visitors that are very much aware of, our theme every year, but we don't broadcast it in the front entrance or, it's not like Disneyland where we're wanting people to come in droves and expect, something super grand, but it's just something a little extra to help us in the design process.
It makes it a lot of fun. So while we're walking along here, Meg, this year is Fairytales and Fables.
Yes.
So give us like a rundown on maybe what was last year's theme or the year past.
Last year we had elements of nature.
Okay. Oh, that's
Earth,
right. Yeah,
wind,
that's right.
Water and fire.
Yep.
So that was really fun as well. And then the year prior, actually can't remember chronologically, but we've had foliage frenzy, so an emphasis on leaves of plants. We've had pollinators paradise. Oh boy, there's been a lot.
Can you do a theme sometime that uses only hairy balls plant and Verbena bonarensis? No?
I'll put that into the suggestion box, Matt. No suggestion goes to the trash. But
Matt,
It'd be a lot of fun.
no promises.
hey
of
Matt,
it.
nothing you suggest she's ever going to use, because I've been suggesting an all begonia theme for years.
All begonia theme, I would be all over that.
And she's just poo-poos it.
And you know what's crazy, Megan, is you have access to any begonia you could ever want.
Yeah, OPGC,
Yeah,
shout out.
All you'd have to do is go down there and say, hey, I need, seeds of each, and they'll just give them to you.
They'll give you
They'll grow 'em
plants.
for you. Yeah.
Forget seeds. But
So
anyways,
I always I know this isn't a theme, but I always walking past this little gazebo, and these oak leaf hydrangeas are just breathtaking. And then the Joe Pye weed next to it is just
here, let's get your picture with it, Matt.
insane.
Here, stand, turn around.
Turn around.
Yes, it is a very
That's
established
artistic.
oak leaf hydrangea that
Yeah,
really does, especially right now with it being in flower. It's really pretty.
Super cool. And then the fall color on it's going to be amazing.
Yes, sir. And the begonia, going back to the begonia theme.
Yeah, begonia theme.
That, I'm not saying it's a bad idea, but part of the theme also is to inspire people to do some of these plantings in their own yard. Extremely rare, hard to find begonias.
As she shows us a Tennesseeum up there that she says extremely hard to find. So yeah, keep going, Megan. I'm just teasing. Look, right here's some perennial begonia. That's always a fun one, right?
Yep. Hardy begonia is an awesome plant.
Yeah. Megan's mad at me now.
You're getting the cold shoulder.
I
No.
All right, so where are we heading next, Matt and Megan?
We are approaching the Innis House, which has 2 annual displays that border a line of Vardar Valley boxwood. And on either side of those boxwood hedges are 2 rectangular gardens that are designed around Snow White.
Oh, okay. Yeah, walk me through that
because it doesn't scream Snow White, does it?
I mean, I don't know, to be honest with you, because a lot of the fairy tales that I grew up watching, or Disney movies, if you will, were like The Lion King and Aladdin and things like that. So, Snow White wasn't one that I can really remember too much.
Yeah.
The Wizard of Oz, I do, and Peter Rabbit, I do remember. But yeah, so some of them I may need a little help.
So Snow White, I had a little bit of complex about my plant palette. Probably a little late in the season to change things up, but I was going for a white. What do we say? One color, white.
Monochromatic?
Monochromatic. So heavy on textures with white flowers, silver foliage. That was going to be my sole focus around Snow White. And then I was like, boy, this seems to be a little bit boring on paper. So then I kind of added in this deep red dahlia and yellow lantana to symbolize her dress, which has royal blue and reds and yellows in her dress.
I see that.
And the royal blues is the salvia
here.
Yeah,
so there's salvia.
And I dare not ask about the 7 dwarfs.
So I had, there is a 7 dwarfs, larkspur. There is a 7 dwarfs larkspur that I was not successful in getting to germinate. So that was a flop. But I did include Snapdragon's apple blossom cultivar in it for the poisonous apple that she's fed. So, it's not maybe something that screams Snow White upon first look, but I certainly tried my best to choose a plant palette that...
This dahlia and this salvia, that I see what you mean. That's her dress right there.
Yes.
I love it.
I think that the whole thing is beautiful.
Just gorgeous.
The textures that you've got going on with it and the way everything kind of interacts with one another, I think it's great.
You've achieved a Pete Udolph style garden here, with all annuals.
Okay.
So,
no, I think it's great, Megan.
Well, Thank you.
it-
I would, as a designer, I would emphasize trusting your initial gut focus and maybe sticking with that.
Well, I mean,
maybe
it
that's
looks
a note
great.
for myself for next year.
Is this Quercus frenetto? No, this is a beech.
No, that's an oak. Emperor oak. Japanese emperor oak.
come on, even Addie knew that.
Oh, Quercus dentata pinnatifida.
Isn't it beautiful?
Yeah.
That's a Danaher nursery.
Little Dave Danaher there.
Yeah. So this side of the walkway is a repeat of the planting that we were just looking at.
So the other thing too I wanted to talk on is you have a lot of big bold annuals in there that are packed in super tight, and I love that. Like plant density, I think that if there's anything that people should learn, it's that plants don't have to have their own individual space. You know, like
they can't
just because a
touch.
plant tag says 24 inches wide doesn't mean you have to stick the other plant 24 inches away from it.
Right. Well,
Pack that shiz in there.
And I've noticed that prairies have been telling me that lately because I'll see plants that flop in the landscape because they're planted alone. But that same plant in the prairie is just nice and sturdy because it's got buddies to kind of
Companion
keep
plants.
it held up.
Yeah, and it's neat because I forget who it was that was talking about it. Maybe it was in a book I read or it was in a talk that I heard where they went to a prairie, like a healthy prairie, and they were studying like the number of plants per square meter, and it was something ridiculous. Like there were 27 different species of wild grass or native grass and like native wildflowers within that 1 square meter.
Holy
you know,
cow.
and that just goes to show like
well, that was
nature. That's how nature does it. So
yeah, and that was encouraged at PPA in Iowa was this more dense planting style.
Yeah.
Because of the way that it would fill in a garden quicker and cut down on the time of weeds or the amount of weeds and maintenance.
And have you noticed like
Yeah. I mean, in terms of our annual displays, like the one we just looked at, we haven't spent time in that garden in probably 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
So what we do have issues with is our turf growing
into it? Yeah.
horizontally, and then you start to see the seed heads from the turf popping up through.
I have the same issue at my house.
Yeah.
And that's like all about kind of the book that Roy Diblick wrote, the No Maintenance Perennial Garden. And he talks a lot about that in there, the no density thing and or the plant density thing and being less weeding. Obviously there's like the initial upfront weeding until the stuff really grows together, but you get fast growing annuals and perennials, and it really cuts down on the amount of maintenance.
Yeah.
Let nature guide you.
This is super cool. What is this?
Yeah. So, I design a good portion of the 8 seasonal displays yearly. But I'm thrilled to have very talented horticulture staff to also implement their talents in design. And this was done by my full-time horticulture technician, Sarah. So she chose the theme Rapunzel.
I love it.
And so what we have are 2 topiaries, Rapunzel and the Prince. Those were constructed in-house by staff using chicken wire, burlap, and then stuffed with plastic grocery bags to kind of keep its
Shape and
form.
Yeah.
And then what I love about this is, I'm never, grapevine has its purpose, I'm sure, but she has repurposed the mature grapevine branches into Rapunzel's long hair. So it
It's incredible.
weaves up and down through and around the curve of this display that follows the pathway. And then on that display, or on her hair, or sprinkled down through her hair, is bubblegum petunia, which is just a very bright pink petunia that lives up to all of its promises of just being a rock star of an annual.
Oh, yeah.
I've never really gravitated towards petunias just for their tendency to burn out and look like crap and, late June, early July. But this bubblegum petunia is phenomenal and has done a really great job of really carrying your eye around the curve of this bed up towards Rapunzel.
So I didn't notice it at first that the grapevine weaves all the way from the topiary all the way down through the garden.
Oh, wow. Look
And
at
I
that.
just paced it off, and it seems to be about 54 feet of grapevine
Holy cow.
coming off of Rapunzel's head, and that is really, really cool. Shout out to Sarah. I know Sarah, so if she's listening, shout out. That is
Yes.
really cool way to use just like an old invasive vine right off the property, I assume.
Yes. So we have 40 acres of maintained gardens and turf, and then the rest of it we're surrounded by woodlands. So one of the winter projects or tasks was going into the woods and harvesting grapevine. Grapevine that's dead can get pretty brittle pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So, there was definitely selection made and making sure that there was some bend to the grapevine without snapping it so that she could create these kind of undulating movement through the display. And then it's, not a 54-foot length, solid length of grapevine. There's a lot of zip ties to piece it all together. So
I was thinking it was like 54 straight feet of grapevine.
I don't know. I think it's, for the most part, a lot of pieces and parts that were cinched together with grapevines.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
just
nonetheless, it looks super cool.
I'm just taking a quick video of that. I walked all the way down to the end of the grapevine, but that's really cool. I like that. And our coworker Jay Truman, he would really like that. I'll have to tell him to get his butt over here and see this, because I feel like a lot of this is that real artistic stuff he likes to mess around with.
So, yeah, and I love to try to scantia growing on them. The only thing I would change about it would be is that a juga?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the only, I just hate a juga. That's
I will say I have not had great experience with a juga aside from in a topiary setting.
Yeah.
So I think what your plan there was, of course, to have the ajuga kind of spilling down.
Mm-hmm. No, it
Yeah,
looks
like
great.
the King's
It looks
Cake.
great.
Yeah,
it
as
looks
is
great.
cake.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I just don't like a juga because in our old house I had a really bad experience with juga, which resulted in me having to spray with Roundup half of our front yard. That was the only way
Yeah,
I could get rid of
That
it.
would
from
sour
a-
the situation.
So
But that I wanted to say a nod to you and one of your 15 other jobs. The Leo Burby supplied the dahlia balls.
Oh,
in the
nice.
background there, so
One of my 15 other jobs, huh? Yeah, you're not too far off on
yeah, I think it's
that. And I just keep trying to create more work for myself too.
Yes,
So
you do.
People need to come here, not just for the beautiful gardens, but also the tree collection that you have here. Like, it's hard to walk by some of these specimens and not really talk.
What's this?
enough
Pinus
about 'em.
strobus tortuosa.
yes.
I'll take some photos of it
Because we could do a whole walk strictly talking about woodies.
Yeah, so there have been a handful of horticulturists before myself that really did a phenomenal job, planting,
Yeah.
I had never worked with or at least noticed this Nordman fir,
Yeah.
which is just, we have two huge ones on the grounds that I marvel at, and how it's placed right next to the pathway so that you notice it.
And this
These
is something.
visionaries.
This is something people need to start thinking outside of just Norways and
Yes.
Colorado blue spruce and things like that, because of all of the issues that we're experiencing
Mm-hmm.
with these spruces and pines, and start thinking more on some of these different firs and things.
Do you know what that is, Matt?
Hey, Mommy.
Pop quiz, hot shot.
And these are round.
Okay.
I accidentally didn't.
I don't.
Oh, they're
What is
okay.
that?
They're okay.
Looks like a Chiananthus to me.
Is it really?
It is.
Yeah,
That's
looks like
huge.
It is a hybrid.
Okay. That's a
between
big
two-
one.
Yeah.
Someone go stand by that, and I'll take a picture so we can get some
scale in there for
Do
So
you want to
this was-
stand by the tree?
This was planted in the early 80s, and it came in like a 4-inch little, like, small mail order plant that the first horticulturist, Mike Heisey, planted.
awesome.
So, yeah, it is really cool.
So where are we heading off to next? It's hard not to get distracted.
Well,
It really is hard not. I
mean-
mean, we're trying to focus on annual displays, and
for time's sake, it's a little bit of a jaunt. We're going to go to the end of the parking lot.
okay, yeah, that's fine.
So,
And then we have the 2 beds over there, right? And that's the end of the...
those.
Okay.
So those are the 2. That we do have one out in our sister's garden that was designed by our part-time garden staff, but that unfortunately is just far enough out of range that we're gonna have to cut that one out.
That's that Perodia that I told you to get, isn't it?
Yes,
Love that.
the Chinese growth.
Mine has grown, the Chinese Perodia subaqualis. Mine has grown so much, so I think you're going to be really impressed at how quickly that's going to start to take off.
Yeah, I'm excited. Fall
And-
color, right?
And the fall color on it is just like in your face red,
Good.
maroon.
Yeah, I'm excited.
And then here we are passing back through these Peter Rabbit gardens, which it's hard to choose a favorite now that I've started to see all these because they're
These-
all so wonderful.
These, I can't remember which one it is, but these ornamental peppers here, that's the purple with the, like, variegated leaves.
Yeah. Shoot, I
Freaking
can't remember.
love these
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
Holy cow.
I can't remember what that.
Just beautiful.
I ordered some of that for my fall annual displays
That's
this year.
great, man.
Yep.
It's a good choice there.
Megan, are we going left or right?
You're gonna go left.
Left?
I mean, go through the entrance feature.
Walking through the entrance feature.
Which this is an important thing to talk about here
Yes, Whit.
because
Megan recently did a redesign of this.
Megan had everything, she ripped everything out and started from scratch on these, and they're really important beds because they're the first thing a visitor sees when they enter the gardens. And, they were nice gardens. They had some nice elements to them, but they were just getting old and tired. Am I saying that right?
Correct.
So I think that what you've got here is going to be amazing. I really like, it's hard to pick what I like the best about it, but your layout is fantastic.
Well, thank you. We've
Yes.
had a lot of, particularly with the butterfly weed that is a plant that you can't help but notice when it is in flower. So that's created a lot of really cool conversation. And then the calamantha and just the sheer amount of bees buzzing through it.
Don't you love that?
It's doing its job in the first, 2 months of it being installed, and that it's really creating pause and conversation.
It's going to, like, when this stuff spills out over the edge here, and, like, it's just, and what I love about, like, the ones that I have at my house is how fragrant they are, too. Like,
Yeah.
you catch it just right.
No, I haven't noticed the
smokes.
fragrance on it.
Oh,
I will
you
have
will.
to try and, I'll definitely try and.
You're talking about the minty fragrance, right?
Yeah, just that kind of, like, minty
I
spice.
smell it right here.
Just run your hands
Well,
through
now
it,
that,
you know?
now that you've agitated it does.
And this is Haha Tonka.
That's
That
hot
looks
tonka.
great.
Yeah, so how big were these plants when you put them in?
They've actually, I feel like they have almost been growing before my eyes. They were in 3-gallon
Okay.
containers, so they were pretty big to start.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good sized plant to start,
Yeah.
but 'tis the season for the little blue stems, right?
Yes,
So-
yes. Especially after such a common plant spoken about at PPA, I'm like, oh, yay, that's fun that I've got that at Inniswood. So
Oh, and did they talk about that a lot
just,
at
just
PPA?
ornamental grasses in general.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people are kind of starting to look at how to
Blue
use
stems
ornamental
and-
grasses
yeah.
more in the landscape,
Yeah.
just because there's so many different ones you can get and just how tough they are and how hardy they are. And it looks like that Haha Tonka is going to really stand up nice too.
Yeah,
Yes,
I love it.
does
Looks
have
like
a very strong vertical.
it looks
Yeah.
dangerous, doesn't it?
And what I'm excited about, should the voting go my way, and that Rudbeckia maxima is a perennial plant of the year for is it 2027?
Yes.
That's what we
I don't
voted
know.
on.
I feel like we're voting on the perennial plant of the year for 2040 at this point.
Yeah, but I see what you
always so
mean.
But
You
that's
can
the
be like,
year.
I've already got it in place.
Yeah.
Can I say one more thing?
Yes.
You have these two pillars here with
Yes.
these two annual containers,
Uh-huh.
and I really like how they don't match.
Yes.
Because I feel there's a lot of people in our industry who want to get matchy-matchy with everything. Everything has to be a mirror image. Everything has to have this certain type of balance, and I like that they're completely different containers. It makes you notice them more.
Yes, I 100% agree.
So-
I can take zero credit for that. Those were done by two volunteer designers, and I saw one of them recently when I was here one evening, and I said the same thing. I said, I love that they have, there's nothing about their plant palette that matches the other. They're
Yeah.
completely different, but yet they still work well together. So.
So this is Vitex,
Yes.
which is another cool, sub-shrub.
Yeah, it's like
which-
a butterfly bush, but, and that it dies down to the ground every
Yeah,
year. We
but-
cut it back.
But it
and
doesn't have the aggressive personality that butterfly bush does.
we have not noticed that.
Yeah, so
Yes.
I think we have some planted in Dublin. I've seen some really cool Vitex plants and videos and things like down south, where they grow into these giant, they prune them into like trees.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is fun.
And this is a Bellum Canda here.
Yes.
Now,
This
suppose I'll
is-
take a picture of it.
Well,
This
there's
is-
a Bellum Canda down there that's in flower
well,
right now.
But this is the species, right?
Well, this one is seeded itself in.
Okay.
So that is one. There's one down here too.
yeah,
also,
that's
that
flowering.
is seeded itself in. So that's maybe my one caution about this plant is.
And we've
know.
got some sorghastrum
Yes.
here,
Yes.
which this one is Sioux Blue.
Yes.
Really, really cool grass. The blue color on that's phenomenal.
Yes,
And if people like that blue lime grass that spreads like crazy, you're going to get a little more height with this,
Yeah.
but this Sioux Blue Indian grass is the same exact hue
It
as
is.
like the blue lime
Yes.
grass.
Yes, it really is. So, what we're walking along right now that borders our parking lot is what we call our fence border. So this is a large, narrow garden, again, running the length of the parking lot that's mixed shrub and perennial border.
Yeah.
And some small ornamental trees. So I'm very fortunate. I think this is a really great bed to learn perennials in.
Mm-hmm.
This was designed before I came here, but I marvel at the foresight on some of this plant selection, like the sorghastrum that was planted in there. And
This is a
how
fun
that's
bed
really
too,
gaining
because
steam.
there's still a lot of real estate in here.
Oh, for sure.
Where you could, I know you've got your hands busy with so many other things, but over time, you could really plug some stuff in
Yes,
here.
yes.
I was just looking at the Roseanne geranium here, and is that Roseanne geranium?
It is.
I'm assuming it is.
Yes.
Yeah, and I just love how it's climbing that baptisia. That's what I love about that plant,
Yeah.
though. I have it in my gardens at home. And it just kind of goes everywhere,
Yeah.
but it's not so much so that it takes everything over. It just
Right.
kind of
Yep.
bobs and weaves its way through the garden.
Mingles,
Yeah,
friendly,
a lot of fun.
social. It's a social plant, Matt. Like
Yeah,
Can I guess at what this next theme is?
you. Well, did you already look at the sign?
Yes.
lame.
Okay,
Oh, that's
go
beautiful.
ahead. Guess, Tim.
Little
Oh,
Red
nice
Riding
one.
Hood?
Yes, this is Little Red Riding Hood. So this was designed by our 5 part-time garden staff. So it's 5 creative minds that came together on this postage stamp of a sized bed with the common inspiration of Little Red Riding Hood, and then use that theme to work with their plant selection. Now, part-time staff as a whole don't start working till March, so their design time is much smaller,
Yeah,
and the opportunity to grow plants in our greenhouse isn't quite there. So a lot of these plants are purchased from our local garden centers, which isn't a huge monetary commitment given that it's a pretty small bed.
yeah.
But it also allows them the opportunity to kind kind of design on the fly and work together in a greenhouse. And
I think Matt could take some inspiration from this because I know you've got some areas where you use annuals in the shade.
Yeah.
And this is really cool. What do you call this again?
polka dot plant.
Polka dot plant.
Hypoestes.
Yeah. I just love the way that's playing around with that impatient right there.
Yeah, so this is a tricky bed in that it's got full pockets of deep shade, very dry shade underneath the canopy of this magnolia tree. So it's competing with the root system of the magnolia and then the shade of the magnolia.
It's kicking butt.
And then as you get more out towards the border along the sidewalk leading up to the parking lot restroom, this is where you get more sun. So that's where the impact of, this coleus, I don't remember what red coleus this is, but it's got a really nice little yellow
Fringe
to it.
Margin.
Red sun patiens. We use white sun patiens, but again, it's a merger between Red Riding Hood and then the dark woodland center with the Vino coleus.
Mm-hmm.
And then they used, again, Bronco carex to symbolize the big bad wolf, and then a Pegasus begonia for like the paws of the wolf. So
Yeah, that's really cool.
I'm just gonna take a moment to throw some shade at our coworker Kyle Cross because he takes care of a park called ML Red Tribute, and at one of the entrances he always does his red bed, and it's like literally a sign bed that's like 6 foot by 4 foot. It's tiny as can be. And have you seen it lately?
No.
It's just like crusty. So I can't wait to show him this like beautiful red bed of these plants that are just lush and gorgeous.
remember, which we are at the benefit of an irrigation system. So
Yeah.
but
Well, Kyle's at the benefit of
He's got three kids.
hardworking seasonals that can take the water truck there at any moment.
They take the water
Kyle,
truck
I
at
tried.
any moment.
Sorry. I tried.
Kyle, Megan is defending you. Okay, well let's
our last display bed that we'll be able to get to. Now the front entrance, the main entrance into Inniswood as you drive through, that is designed around Jack and the Beanstalk.
Okay, yeah.
And
as Addie and I were pulling in, we were both like, "Holy cow! Like these flower beds look beautiful pulling in." So
the only I'd say plant that strongly follows that theme is the hyacinth bean vine that's growing up the wrought iron fence.
yeah,
Okay.
Otherwise, it was, I can't say
Looks
a lot
good.
of inspiration, but I wanted bright and bold. It's a drive-by
it's
bed,
bright and
so-
bold. Yeah, I mean, when you're driving by Inniswood, you can't help but notice that.
So we'll be careful here because this is a garden that borders.
I love how you guys
edge
just
of a
have the
parking
leaves
lot.
down in here as mulch.
Yes,
Beautiful.
it's a
You walk
Free
through it,
re-
it's just like,
free resource
yeah.
and a very beneficial resource. Everybody
Yeah,
should
take
be
notes,
using.
people. You don't have to
Recycle
use
their leaves in the fall
hardwood
for
mulch
mulch.
all the time.
So this is a garden based on a story that I had never heard before. I don't think many have. This is Millicent Mouse and her funny wee house.
Never heard of it. But
yeah.
I love it.
So the designer, Jane, she's my other full-time horticulture technician.
Shout out to Jane.
She designed this display. And naturally, she's got a very, she loves prairie plants, native, she wanted a very airy, meadow-like plant palette, which is what, you picture Millicent Mouse frolicking through in her story. But Millicent Mouse, as a single lady here, is a little grapevine structure that was a circular, what do you call it? Trellis, little circular trellis that she stuffed with grapevine. And then the head of it is Carrick's Red Rooster.
And is this like tobacco?
Yes, that is,
Nicotiana.
that's Nicotiana sylvestris. And I would
You say
this is-
Nicotiana, she says Nicotiana, as long as you spell it right.
Well, yeah. Uh-oh,
who's-
car coming
yeah.
through. Watch out,
This
Whitney.
is one of the hazards of this display. So
I love this aster right now. It's just kind of hiding and just
Yeah.
waiting in the wings.
The
And it's
aster-
just going to blow up.
So all of the seasonal display beds will get incorporated with mums in the next several weeks. Jane had selected asters to be plugged into this bed. A lot of her plant material, specifically cosmos, had really like burned out in this display. So we plugged in the asters a little prematurely just to give it some lush green foliage.
Yeah,
to look at.
they look great.
So Millicent Mouse, this is a bed with a series of topiaries in it. We've
That's a
got
frog.
A frog, yes. So this is one of her suitors that she ends up not caring for.
Which
And then-
grass is this, Megan?
Oh boy.
Yeah,
Yep, that one.
that's a good one.
I think
It's-
it one time was linked to being a pennisetum.
Yeah, I was
but
going to
it's
say, is it not a pennisetum?
It's not. It's a centrosus.
Okay.
I'll have to look. We have got a QR code that I can.
And then what's this airy grass back here? I mean, the seed heads look like a
This is
like a
called
muley grass or
feathertop. This
Okay.
is a panicum.
that's a
This
panicum.
is a panicum, an annual panicum.
Annual panicum.
Yeah.
So that stays pretty short then.
Yeah,
huh?
it's very short.
That's beautiful.
Very short.
I love that.
Yeah.
Kind of smoky look that it gives.
Yeah, it is. You just have to be before it gets the seed heads on it. It looks very
Weedy? Yeah.
very weedy.
I could see that. I mean, I could
But-
definitely see that,
but it does pop with those seed heads pretty early.
I'm trying to
so.
photograph that.
come back
panicum.
here, Tim.
It's
it
like-
it doesn't it look like it's a little puff of smoke from back here?
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And Whitney has all of a sudden become interested in the microphone that I have clipped to me.
Yeah.
Whitney, this is a microphone. Can you say hello?
Hello.
Okay.
Aw.
Say hi, shrubby buddies.
Hi, everybody.
Thank you.
So then there's a bee, a butterfly, and a spider, which she all encounters on her journey to then where she ends with a partner, a mouse.
Did you guys make these
partner.
in-house or did you purchase these?
The bee and the butterfly were
Are you renting
already.
them?
Yep, those were purchased like that.
Okay.
And then the other topiaries were constructed out of miscellaneous materials that we had on hand.
Now I'm intrigued about this Millicent Mouse story. Is this something I can find on Disney Plus?
Oh, you got a
Because you-
bonarensis that seated itself over here.
Because we know you won't read this story, Tim, right?
Oh, it's a book?
Yeah. So it's called Feathertop Gnat.
Okay.
That more dense plume.
Yeah,
And then the panicum is Frosted Explosion.
I love it.
Yeah.
Someone at work the other day said something like, I haven't read a book in 4 months. And a couple people were like, oh my gosh, why not? And I'm like, I haven't read a book in 3 decades.
And like the books you have read were probably all the same one. What's the one book that you?
Desert
No, just-
Solitaire.
Desert Solitaire. That's the only book
Like,
you've
I
ever
flip
read.
through gardening books a lot and look at pictures. Does that
Yeah.
count? Anyway, enough about me. This was beautiful, and I've been to Inniswood a handful of times this year, mostly like to drop off and pick up kids here and there. But it's nice to actually get into these gardens and take the time to hear Megan explain everything and Matt ask his questions. So that was really enlightening to me, and I definitely have gotten some inspiration for things I'm going to do in annual displays in the future. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Megan,
Thank
thanks
you.
for taking the time to give us this tour. I know you've got another tour this evening, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
Yes. So this all was a guise. Tim told
Yeah.
me, "Oh, I'm going to attend your garden tour this evening. Is that okay?" And then as the conversation went on, he's like, "Oh, actually, it's going to be our podcast episode. Can we?"
Get a pre-tour.
This is like a dry run. So now Megan has a practice.
Yeah, no, this was great. I always like giggling with you guys in the background, but I appreciate you bringing me into the mix for this episode.
You know what I appreciate about Tim
What?
is he waves at everybody.
Yeah, he's our greeter.
He
Whitney.
he
can you do
waves at everybody.
I'm a waiver. So, okay, well, we're going to wrap it up. I would like to thank Megan very much for this wonderful tour, and I hope it was helpful for your big dog tour this
that?
evening.
Yes, I'm primed and ready.
And the gardens look just beautiful, and if anybody's listening is local, please get into Inniswood. Right now is a great time. Like, it's popping off.
Yeah, and I think that I'm gonna have to come back here in several weeks when like the fall stuff really starts cranking. You know, like when you start getting the mums put in, and I'm sure you'll have some pumpkins scattered about the grounds.
Yeah, we have about 1,000 mums that we'll incorporate into the displays, and pick out the annuals that are tired
Yeah.
and ready to go to our compost pile.
1,000 mums that you guys have grown.
Yeah, we grow those from plugs. And so the season is really just ramping back up for us, even though it doesn't feel like anything has slowed down with all the rain we got in July in Zone 6B.
Zone 6B.
6B.
Yeah.
Can we get let's get a selfie on the air.
Okay.
So,
Megan, thank you. Really
Yeah,
appreciate.
sure.
never heard the sound of a selfie. Here you go, folks. What? Oh, Matt's head wasn't in there.
Matt, you're too tall.
Oh, what am I doing?
Nice.
I don't know what's happened, but we got something.
I think
yeah.
we got something.
Megan, thank you again for the tour.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for everybody that's tuned in to listen to this. And yeah, I guess we will chat with you all soon. Love you harder +2.
Bye.
Bye-bye.